you think of it as this like, oh my God, this crazy American city with like movies and people and celebrities everywhere.
They think of it as a city of suburbs, and that there is no center and that there is no urbanity.
People come from all over the country to come right here to be in this nexus of creative energy. Man.
You get different kinds of people, whether it's people who are fabulously wealthy or fabulously educated, down to people who are poor, living in their cars, people who come from countries hoping to start a new life. And this has always been an LA idea, that you have the clean slate.
And this place was also called the place for displaced people, because many foreigners like myself that were in between the wars and from Europe or wherever, and nobody could ever find us, never.
Once you pass through those stone gates, it's like the concept of Brigadoon. You're in a different world.
I don't remember exactly when I first came to Beechwood Canyon, but I remember how I felt, that I knew the place, though I'd never been here before. It was the strangest sense of déjà vu, and though it would be many years before I moved here, I felt that I'd come home. In 1880, this was orchards, ranches, and wilderness. It wasn't a town. It didn't even have a name. By 1890, it was a thriving village called Hollywood, a clean, rural antidote to nearby Los Angeles. In 1903, Hollywood incorporated as a city, population 700. New homes sprang up amid the lemon groves and northward into the canyons, including one named Beechwood for its developer, Albert Beach. In 1923, the developers S.H. Woodruff and Tracy E. Schultz, backed by newspaper and railroad money, began building a hillside community a mile north of the entrance to Beechwood Canyon. They called it Hollywoodland. In 1912, a group called the Theosophical Society relocated to Beechwood from Chicago and began building a colony on 10 acres. The Theosophists combined elements of all the major religions, but borrowed mostly from esoteric Buddhism. They were vegetarians and saw Beechwood, with its ideal climate, as a new Garden of Eden.
I find Beechwood to be very community-spirited. There's a camaraderie here that I didn't find in other places. Something very special. I think people identify with the land they're living on here. They call themselves Beechwooders.
What do you want for Christmas?
I spent a lot of time in the hills as a kid, and I feel like I felt like this side of the hill is very wild.
This area here used to be all orchards and ranches and then wilderness, and the hills were completely empty. And there were 5 springs that came up in Beechwood Canyon, and none of them exist anymore because they've had houses built over them. But it was a natural wonderland. In many ways, it still is.
The thing about up here was it didn't feel like I was in the city anymore. I mean, it felt like, I felt like I was in a national park.
Our very life is prayer, and it goes on 24 hours a day.
When I'm up there and on top of the hills, I feel like I'm in my own special church.
Someone stepped over the curb, not realizing that there was a steep grade at that point, fell, rolled about 10 feet to a point in which there was a 30-foot drop.
We understood that our neighbors were evacuating, that the flames had gotten that close, and Aldous Huxley's house was burned to the ground.
It was an extraordinary day, actually, because it was so clear, and all of a sudden the fire was just outside my room.
On March 30th, 2007, 2 teenage visitors from Illinois ignited a huge brush fire that spread up the back of Mount Lee toward the sign. 200 firefighters battled the blaze, which burned 150 acres and closed Beechwood Canyon for half a day, trapping residents inside and keeping traffic out. The boys turned themselves in, claiming it was an accident. Charges against them were later dropped.
Everyone has good memories of movies. They came out here searching for that feeling.
There's more than just a mystical air about Beechwood. There's also a very haunting air about Beechwood.
There was a lot of people in the industry, like successful actors, really wouldn't consider living here because it has this tinge of failure.
Peg Entwistle was a 24-year-old stage actress who came to Hollywood to be in the movies. She landed a contract with RKO, but the studio fired her after a single picture. Broke and unable to find work, she threw herself off the Hollywoodland sign on September 16, 1932. Hers was the first and last suicide there, but it started the sign's metamorphosis from a billboard to an icon.
Well, the sign is wonderful. Now, of course, it's a famous worldwide symbol.
Probably every minute of every day, there's somebody standing in Beechwood Canyon Drive taking a picture of the Hollywood sign.
I don't know what the magic is, but they somehow want to get up close enough to touch it, as though it's the Holy Grail.
There's something to be said for a piece of steel and wood that resonates in the consciousness of probably 60% of the population of the planet.
The Hollywood sign is about dreams.
It encourages everybody to kind of see that aspect of being a little larger than life, a little mythic, or this is the movie star me.
They don't respect it as a neighborhood either. They just stop in the middle of the road. I'm amazed that more people don't get either killed or seriously hurt because they pay no attention to traffic whatsoever and they just go for it,
I've helped so many tourists find it. It's just, it's a phenomenon.
At night, the space between us contracts. Rich or poor, young or old, striving or fulfilled, we are all in Beechwood's embrace. The lights of the city shimmer below, and above, faintly visible even in darkness, the Hollywood sign watches over us.